Live.
What
Wait.
up?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, nope, no.
Oh,
All right, now we're
we're freaking live.
now we're
Right before I went live, Davis said, quote
live.
unquote, let me share the greatest life hack ever. And
Yes.
then I went live. So I
Greatest
don't know.
life hack. Greatest life hack is is that you buy things in life
Oh,
and you don't use them right away, and then you find and you stumble across them later on. It's like buying it like an air fryer, and then you just let it sit, and then you use it later on, and you get so much more value and appreciation out of it.
so like delayed gratification of
Yes,
purchases.
but in this scenario, you bought it because you wanted it, and you did use it when you first when you first got it, but then you
Oh,
stopped, and then you come back to it, and now it's the greatest thing ever, and you're happy you had it.
honestly, I get that
Well,
with,
emotion swing,
I get that with video games. Like
really.
Animal Crossing came out, played it, but
Yeah,
I
you
was like,
grinded it.
yeah.
I think you're going pro in it, or are you?
I was trying, but the scene was very hard. Not a lot of support. So
Double
then,
farm sneaked up.
yeah, then I went back, grinded it out again. Sorry, then 2 years went by. Then I saw what people were doing in it, and I was like, this looks even more fun than like how I was playing it. So then I got back into it, and it was even better. So,
Now you're like on the path of like, okay, do I play or do I just speed run the game? Can you
speed run
speed
the
run that?
game.
Can you speed run the game?
Yeah, I don't even. So like, it's kind of like a really complex Minecraft where it's like you collect a bunch of items, and those items, like if you put like a bookshelf backwards, it looks like a wall. So you're building like
Mm.
fake buildings with like a bunch of bookshelves backwards and like lamps at a certain
So it's
angle.
not intended like that. Like,
No, so I'll go and I'll just like literally just cheat because I've already beaten the game. So it's kind of like it's really hard to get those items if you're playing normally. So I'll cheat because I'm trying to like design a cool island.
yeah,
I
wow.
I have a very annoying fire truck or garbage truck right outside my door.
I can briefly hear it. I think you're fine. But
Good.
dude, topic of games. I feel like gaming right now is a little stale.
I agree,
Like
man.
like the level of new games, in my opinion, and maybe this is controversial. Deadlock and like Off the Grid or whatever, those two like newer games, I just have no interest. I just
Yeah.
not saying that they may be the biggest games of all time, but I just have
Dude, you
zero
just
interest.
like you just know when you see that the game. You
Right?
know what I mean?
Right?
Like I saw
Oh,
like Fortnite back in the day is like you could just tell.
yeah.
There's something about it. You could just see it immediate like within 3 minutes of watching a game, you're like, oh, this has it. It's like,
Rocket League, same kind of vibe.
yeah,
When that came
exactly.
out. But I
Dude.
feel like for Valorant, it's a little too similar to CS:GO. You're like, okay, this is gonna like the company. You could look at the company and the game concept, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
it's gonna work. So I guess on the same note of like if like Riot releases like if Riot released Deadlock, I would say okay, this is gonna be a big game. Would you? If it's a company, then
I mean it's Valve, so
I guess Valve is pretty
Dota
pretty big.
2, Counter-Strike. you
Yeah, but
know,
does Valve if they get involved in games, they're not always competitive, right? They're not always like
TF2.
massive hits.
I think they're always massive hits.
So you think Deadlock will be like the next like big boy?
Yes, it'll be big. It'll be big.
I mean, how many more games are we gonna have like character storylines in? Like we don't
Dude,
need
I
more.
know.
Like
I'm so done with hero shooters. I know, but
we
Deadlock
still
is
need
pretty
more.
unique. As a unique take, the thing about Deadlock is it's literally what I asked for like a few years ago. Like I literally asked for like I want League of Legends but FPS, and that's what Deadlock is. So like, yeah,
Fair.
yeah. But
Yeah,
I don't know, it just like looks it just doesn't look good, you know?
that's fair.
We have
When's
I
new drop
love
or new product? Go ahead.
new drop is shortly, very shortly ish. Uh New product kind of. But no. But yes, I don't know.
Kind of, but yes. Improvements. Not
Improvements.
necessarily a new product. I feel like a new product would be. Well, I mean, yeah. There's a lot of technical terms you could put there, but I feel like the term I give it is like, okay, it's like
Yeah.
completely different, and
It would
like
be yeah.
it's a like you've got like a glass pad versus a cloth pad. Like those are completely different products. But if you make an improvement on the glass pad, it's still a glass pad. Like
It
it's just
yeah.
your spin on it.
It
Your
would be
opinion
very
of it.
silly for us to release Arrow once and then get all of this really, really good feedback on it and like people really enjoyed it and people want it more and then to not like
Yeah.
keep that, so it's
Yeah.
gonna be like the community, you guys are gonna be happy with it, I swear. It's
I'm
not
amped
gonna
up
be,
about it.
yeah, it's not gonna be left field. Oh,
And I'm hyped about the designs. I don't know if you wanna. I don't know if you want to talk about what I was DMing you about. I think yesterday.
oh gosh, I might have to open my phone. Give me
It's
more
it's
context clues.
yeah. It's kind of related to the next collection, and then like how we want to do future collections, if that's something we want to do, or like how do you want to go about that? Does that make sense?
Oh,
You looking at the DM?
yeah.
Do you want to talk about that or no? Like
Uh,
touch on it?
Yeah. Um,
Kind of your thought process on like what,
I'll go
not
like,
necessarily what's next, but like how we may be working or how you see it.
yeah. Uh, hmm. I'll go kind of like big picture on it. It's like we've had a bunch of different plans. I'm gonna answer this question. Will be colorful or like white and black? We have two designs, and I like each design is very specific for our goal with it. And there's like a really legacy. So our last two designs, legacy and fragment. Fragment was a very like in your face, black and white, monochromatic. Legacy was supposed to more blend into your setup, be a little more low key. And we took a lot more risks on these two designs, but we also kind of boiled those down into, you know, what were the best features about it, and then from there grew these two designs. So I think it's really we've like made a better legacy design, and we've really made a better fragment design. Really, I think one of like we have an really iconic design in this drop, and I'm super excited for it. But
I think you're spot on with that. I
yeah,
think we took the overall like the very positive things from the legacy collection and the legacy design, the fragment design, and we put that into this next one.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if you want to answer if you want to do colorful, white or black, but we can leave that. We can
I
leave
think
that
it's
to
like
you.
all of the above. See, it'll be both. We
Yeah,
have our branding, and we want people to recognize our branding, right? Like we talk about like the Supreme behind the scenes. We talk about the like Supreme T-shirt or the Louis Vuitton T-shirt. It's like, uh, um, or the Fear of God. It's like their font. You could put it on anything, and you would know it's Fear of God. And so like we are really trying to grow our brand strength and have people know. Like when you see a mouse pad, you'll be able to always tell it's a 4-on-4 mouse pad. It's just gonna have like, even if it's the craziest thing ever, it'll just have those elements that tie it back to, our strengths and us as a company. You'll always be able to tell it. So, um, yeah,
I will.
yeah,
I will say with this collection, I feel like this is something that maybe I just saw this morning, or maybe I feel like this is a very common point. I feel like a lot of mouse pads in the space, design wise, are very like digital in the sense that like it's looks almost like AI generated, where they're just like super sharp images, or it's like an anime cover where it's just like clear like art piece. And like while those are really cool, I think that ours have a more like retro feel to it, where it doesn't feel like out
yeah,
of touch, to where it's like a whole like art piece out of a book, or like we didn't
yeah,
like right. That's a fair way to say it. Like it's got that feel, like that alive feel, that it's not like just something we ripped out of a magazine or off of a Google image and put it on a pad. Like it's something that has character to it, I think is the best way to say it.
yeah.
Both
I
of them have character to it.
I 100% agree. I think there's like the typical mouse pad look right now in the scene, and I think we're like straying very far away from that. Not like, sorry, Louis is going crazy on the beat. Not at like the rate where it won't fit on a setup, but where we're kind of like reinvesting into this like difference of opinion that we have, over stuff. So I don't know. I think like when Fragment came out, like the words surrounding it, sleekness, it stood out. Like its monochromatic feel, stuff like that. I think that those are all points that we really liked and were all our goal. So hearing the community give that back to us was kind of a big deal.
Yep. What's up, Drew?
Yeah.
That's me.
All right, new phase, or do you want me to
New
continue to talk about art direction? So I can go broad on it.
Up to you. Yeah.
All right, I'll touch on art direction. So we've had a ton of different ideas, like through what we kind of want to accomplish art wise. A big one we like we wanted to mainly do like collections at first. Do like these really wide range of ideas, like the varsity collection, which still might happen in the future, stuff like that, where we kind of take these different design elements or these different things from fashion that we really like, combine it all into like one big collection. But we also had the idea to like work with artists individually, and kind of try to make the mouse pad the shoe of like the gaming industry, with like having these really like these artists with their unique styles be able to produce stuff. I don't think that's like we didn't invent that idea, but we've definitely gone down that road a ton and like seen where that's led us. And then we have like kind of like our third and final idea, which is just like kind of mixing in the charity slash event slash collaboration with like other businesses. So, having that like Gucci X 4-on-4, obviously, I'm throwing Gucci out for a reason, like not. Anyways, like doing that and creating like really unique experiences. So it's kind of all of the above for us right now. Definitely something on the back of my mind is always like, when are we gonna have an offering that's like continual for people? Because I think that's like something the consumer really wants. Having like Arrow be available for everyone, but maybe in like a not super unique style or something like that. That's always on my head, and when to do that is also important, because these collections grow a lot of hype for the brand, and that's really really good, and we need more and more and more of that. But at what point are we like actually going to give the consumer what they want? So
Yep.
I think that's our general big picture art style.
Yeah, I think a big end goal image, like you said, is to be massively available, like constant availability. But also on that same note, to release really, really, really unique designs. So
Yeah, 100%.
what's up, Jude?
Jude, what's up? Yeah, new phase. PHASE, not FAZE. New phase. Am I kicking it off?
Yeah, yeah, you go for it.
Yeah, I think it's just we're entering a time period right now that's really, really exciting. We have like the artwork done. The leaks are ready to go for it. So we were kind of in pre-launch phase pretty much since we ever started the show. And we work in like, we'll do these pre-launch phase, then we're going to launch this phase, and then we're going to launch this phase, and then we are launching our products. So when we start to get to our actual launch phases, which we're like right on the door of right now, means we're actually cooking towards, the checkerboard.
Yeah. I don't have much more to add. You said it perfectly.
Yeah, so it's very exciting. Maybe Davis is less excited, but for me it's really exciting because, managing the calendar of like what you guys are about to see and thinking about your guys' reaction to like each thing that's about to happen right now is really, really exciting. So, yeah.
That does get me hyped up.
Follow the
Probably.
Twitter, boys. Like it's about to pop. It's about to pop.
Yeah, look, I mean, maybe I'm just like super level-headed and chill, and I feel like I would say that's how I am. I don't really get too overly excited over anything, but this does get me hyped up. I mean, we've been working on this for a long time,
Yeah.
and it's yeah, it's gonna be a very, very, very like surreal moment to release this collection. To be honest with you, like just being
Yeah,
able to have that back and be back and be involved again and be consistent and show out. I mean, that's the
dude.
goal, right? We want to provide you guys with the best equipment, and this is just part of it, right? So
Also, it's
keep some
just
time.
the storm we had to weather in order, to get to this
Oh, it's
point.
I don't think many people
Yeah.
would have survived through that. Truly, like that was a lot, and like I said, I mean, it's gonna be a surreal moment. I'm thankful to be here where I am right now, and I can't wait to share all
Oh,
the rest of the news with you guys when it comes.
yeah.
Gonna be awesome.
It's just from pretty much last year, January to May, I felt like it was just us, thinking on our feet, making a solution, and then getting shot in the foot like by like some like crazy, hey, you actually can't do this, or like, hey, these people aren't actually, just like a lot of like kind of BS that we had to deal with. And just we just kept making solutions through it, like all our manufacturing issues to like we released first issue is like we released NA only, so like shipping to other countries was super high, as like that's just, the world is a big place still. And then being like, all right, we're gonna actually be able to get it out to these people, and making that happen, and really not taking that much, like, it was very inefficient for us to not just sell out on our US website, take a profit hit because we promised that we would get them out to people, making that decision into then, you know, having to figure out the manufacturer woes of, you know, now apparently this mouse pad like is, the details on it. Like, oh yeah, we can't do this. Oh, we can't do this. It's like we already did this. How is this possible? Into, all right,
Yeah,
well,
it's a complete flip of a switch. Like it's it's feels like it was predictable, but at the same time, it wasn't. Like it
yeah,
truly wasn't predictable. That like, oh, we just can't do this anymore. Okay, like
okay.
we'll figure it. We'll work around it. We did.
Into sourcing a new menu, into even before that, about to release a whole collection, but then pulling the plug on it because we just felt like the quality wasn't high enough on it, and we actually should just wait because we actually want to get out something really good, into finally
I
getting
think that's
something
been
really good.
the biggest
Oh,
thing for us, and I think that's something that is a super strong aspect feature of us as a company is like we don't play around. Like we
yeah,
it's not if we're not happy with it to the core of our like soul, like we just well, I have no interest in releasing it. You have no interest in releasing it. Like there's no point in pushing it out.
did
So
you
like you
mean
said,
to
that
do
collection,
that?
like what?
The pun in there.
No. But like I mean yeah, no, really if we're not truly happy, excited about it through and through, like
Yeah. For
it's just what
context,
it is.
like we literally had an entire media plan. We were about to go shoot it. Oh, we shot it. We shot it. We shot all of this media for a collection. Like a whole freaking ordeal. You guys probably saw photos on Twitter of it. And then we had the decision of either releasing this and we didn't think it was like that good, or waiting for like to iron out the new manufacturer and like everything that comes with that, and then actually release something really really good. And we were sitting, it's pretty much you're sitting on like, do we take like this money, but we don't think it's like everything we promised to people, but like it would probably be successful, or do we not and actually like give the value we want to give? And like we're like, all right, well, let's release the better thing. Like, why would we not,
Back to the drawing board.
Yep. So everything got thrown out the window and we dialed in, and here we are, finally, new phase, ready to freaking go. It's so exciting. Uh,
Yeah.
definitely frustrating for me. I think I voiced those to Davis in a rant at some point where I'm just like, dude, everything I just worked on for the past 2 months just got thrown out the window. I'm like,
Oh, okay, I don't want to speak on that. I think that everything in life you get better at rep. Like when you do
yeah,
reps of it, you're gonna get better. So like I think that this the last phase and then this phase, like it's already an improvement. Everything's like the flow is better.
yeah,
Everything is better. Like so I'll give you that. But also, I mean we did learn a lot. Like
yeah,
just in general, just company things, like business things, product things. Like we learned a lot over this time, and like you can't really gain that without kind of like I feel like you can if you have like a mentor in the space, but at the same time if you're making your own company, like who's mentoring you to make your own company? Like I feel like that's not really like in the sense of like building it from the ground up, right?
yeah,
That's really not a thing. So like you kind of have to go through the fire yourself to learn, you know, after. So
yeah. I agree.
yeah, I feel like it was a very good time for us. Like it was good for the business, good for our growth.
Yep. True Drew with the truest thing I've ever heard. Just remember it's progress, even if you don't use what you come up with. What you learned along the way is priceless. It's not about
That's fact.
the end destination, it's about the journey.
That's facts.
Wow.
Do y'all think it will be a release? It will be released. Do you think it will be? It will release. Oh, I'm adding a B word. Yeah. So the release date is to be decided. I think it's more so for us, just like the Legacy Collection is. We want to make sure everything's in. We're gonna make sure everything's checked. I'm actually going to Taiwan in November to check
Yeah.
and make sure everything's good. Meet our people, and then obviously the units will arrive in the U.S. We'll check through them again and make sure everything's together and organized, and that way when it does go live, orders are ready to be placed. It's like bang, like because it has been a little bit with our fulfillment. Like I'm sure there's a little bit of rust there that we just need to just iron off,
Yeah.
wax off. Um, so yeah, the release date's to be decided. It could be before the end of the year. It could also be just slightly after, but yeah,
Also
trust.
depends whether we do a pre-sale or not, which we are actively talking about. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it really just depends,
Yeah.
based on a bunch of things. But we are trying our fastest to do everything as like ethical as we can, as right as we can, as efficient as we can, and just continuing to lay the groundwork for future collections so we can almost like combat the issue of like when is the release date? Like
Yeah.
this is the release date. Like this is the day. I think that'd be really sick. And yeah, the time scale of that is hard always because you don't really want to like hype up something that's like 9 months out, but like having a schedule like that would be really handy to share, even subtly of like, okay, this is next collection's like on like September 5th, like next year, guaranteed. Like, or this one's gonna be on like January 10th, or this one might be on May 23rd. Like that way, you just have like some deadline to hit. You have to release a collection at that point. I feel like that'd be very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, like, ranting on pre-sales, it's like it's something we've talked about for so long, whether we do one or not, and it's at the start of us we're super against them, but also seeing other people combat the same timeline issues that we're combating with them makes it very interesting because I think also like there's a lot of risk with pre-sale. Like, what if it gets delayed? Like, what happens if we lose a shipping container and then it's going to take more time, you know? So it's kind of just weighing the risks of it and figuring out what's best for you guys slash us guys and just, I don't know. But I think the community is getting kind of used to him at this point with especially Wooting, I feel like has really made it normal thing, like with especially their wait times are crazy. So, you know, being able to communicate updates properly is I'm starting to lean with pre-sale might be good because then, you know, people can experience the drop more efficiently and you can do more drops if you do pre-sales, right? So you can keep it moving pretty fast, which is very, very nice.
Yeah, I think on a larger scale without major investment to take the risk, or I guess to fight the risk. Um, I think pre-sales make a lot of sense for, like I said, being efficient and working like faster ahead of time. Not that like you can't have everything for the next collection prepared today, but it is also difficult. There's things that change in a year's time, in a 6 months time. So it's hard to plan that far in advance. But on top of all that, even if you have that prepared and you do work off of a like non pre-sale basis, it does make it difficult to
Yeah.
continue to hold like the right amount of capital and when to
Yeah,
like
that's a
it does
whole.
change a
The
lot.
accounting is a whole different thing too. But
Yep.
I do like our kind of rule of like we can only pre-sale if it's under 30 days till people get product in hand, which I think is like a pretty good like middle ground. Because there's definitely, I mean, Wooting will pre-sale you for like you'll reserve a
Yeah.
spot.
What is the average pre-sale? I feel like I
Dude, they
haven't looked
could
into it
you could
in
do like
that
4 months,
depth.
bro. Like they'll start
And
selling
this
shit from a fucking render, dude.
really
Yes.
straight
It,
up.
yeah, so they do batches is what they call it, and they're like, "Oh, you bought this batch and then this batch is being made right now." And then it'll give you they are very like they'll give you updates and you can always check on your batch, which is really good. And it works, but it's still like a little spooky with it is a long time for some of these
I mean,
people.
what if on that note, like I feel like on the same note of a batch, and this isn't something that we've just invented in this at this exact minute, but what if we did something similar where not similar, but I guess some. I mean, I don't know if my idea is similar, but we do something similar where we throw in like a exclusive like item,
Yeah.
right? Whatever it is. If you're pre-order, like boom, you
Mm.
get this. So it's like a
Little
little bit of a
benefit.
bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, right, there's a benefit to ordering it early because for us, the benefit, if let's say like we do pre-sale every single time, the benefit for us is we get the funds right away so we can fund the next collection and
Yeah.
decrease the time and then keep doing it. That's the benefit for us. Like at the end of the day, there's a benefit for both sides to be had. And if we can give something more to them, like that's not just the product, that might be something that would
Yeah.
potentially motivate, drive, and like the encourage the overall like pre-sale identity. And I feel like also if you like you said if you're strict on like, hey, this is like you're pre-selling where but this is like this is within 30 days, like or money back guarantee or whatever. Like I don't know, like right, like
Yeah.
if that's the case, like you don't have to like we will give your money back if we don't have it in 30 days, and it's just on
Yeah.
us at that point, right? We can come up with all those like little rules and aspects of it, but those are things that I think will build the trust with pre-orders is it's not necessarily that you're scared of I feel like it's not I feel like whenever I pre-order something it's not that I'm scared of like getting scammed or I'm scared of like I guess never getting the item. It's more like I just don't know how long it might take. And if you're really clear with it and you kind of explain like this could take this amount of time or this is money back guarantee or whatever it is, like I feel like all those things alleviate that stress and then it just makes it easier for both sides.
Yeah.
So definitely a deeper conversation to be had, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's exciting.
It is. Um. Okay. Last, we have a topic that we haven't talked about, Blue Sky,
Hit
which
it.
um, I'm gonna butcher the lore behind this completely, but pretty much, I'm pretty sure it was along the line of a difference between like artists and Twitter. And from what I know, I think artists were getting like taken down or like DMCA'd for stuff that like they shouldn't have been DMCA'd for, or they had like some sort of disagreements. I forget what it was, but there's like a new rule. So artists like Max Exodus left X, like all the art people, and they all went to Blue Sky. And I don't know if it's still popping, but then Blue Sky was like doing really really well, and there's like a lot of engagement stuff that was like Blue Sky was doing had more engagement slash more people like active than X. So it was very interesting to see.
Wait, what is Blue Sky?
Blue Sky is like a Twitter alternative or an X alternative. It's very similar to X.
What are the benefits of going to Blue Sky over X or
Um,
like being a part of both?
it's really just X's management slash like really that's it. Like if you don't slash X's their like for you page, like the things that they're promoting. So it's interesting. It's
I feel like
just
we've seen so many of these that it just doesn't even interest me anymore.
I know that's what I was gonna say. It makes me think back to like Threads launch, um, and like how that was supposed to be the next big thing, and it like immediately died. And it
I'm
like
actually surprised Threads wasn't bigger, but at the same
yeah
time, like, there's not like a really there. I mean, there. I guess you can. There's a lot of social medias that are similar, like Facebook and Twitter are kind of similar to Instagram, but like there really isn't like an Instagram duplicate that's like looks like that. Like they really did, and
yeah
I feel like we've even kind of seen it with like Kick and Twitch. Like you really don't see like a someone recreate a platform and instantly have success on it. I think that Threads probably could eventually be successful if they reapply it in a different way. But same with Kick. I feel like Kick is just kind of gonna sit right below Twitch. You know, probably honestly statistics wise, probably pretty far below Twitch,
yeah,
and they're gonna have to fight to get up.
especially with YouTube Live.
And I feel like Instagram could do this similar thing that Kick's doing. Just here's come to Threads. We'll pay you $20,000 a month to just post your stuff on Threads.
Tweet.
But at the end of the day, that if that always happens, like that just never really works out. Like I
Yeah.
don't think that is a viable. I think the only reason why it's viable for Kick, and I'm not speaking on their financials because I really don't know. No one really does know, but probably because stake.
Yeah.
Like if you have a gambling company behind Blue
It's just
Sky,
a
then you could
loss
probably
leader.
pay. Yeah, you probably could just. Hey, you're just printing money daily from people just gambling it away on the site.
Yeah. It's crazy when gambling's the sponsorship too, because it's really like there's no great metric for them, and there's no like okay, so if HelloFresh is your sponsor, right? They need people to sign up for their meal boxes in order to make a profit. But I feel like gambling just like is so like one out of the 1,000 people who sign up could be a high roller or something like that, and it makes up for it. Or one out of 100,000, could make up for so many people. So like you have just like these crazy loss leaders. Like State can just infinitely throw money at Kick just over and over and over again because like that's just like their model. Like they don't need 1-to-1, right? They don't need a high percentage. Like I'm sure they want that, but it's just there's not many businesses where someone can infinitely spend money on your business. You know what I mean? Like someone can't
Yeah.
spend $1 million on our mouse pads just out of nowhere, right? But someone can, gamble $1 million out of nowhere. Like so I don't know. Loss leaders are really interesting, and I think just like gambling in general produces like some really nuts, like just throwing money at a fan for just letting it drown out. Shit,
Yeah,
man.
I feel like online gambling has a weird like stigma around it, but
Stigma.
stigma is that the right word?
uh, it
Stigma?
has like a negative
Stigma?
sigma. What the? It has like a
It
negative
definitely has like a weird.
connotation.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we've seen like actual casinos been promoted on in a ton of different ways.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm talking like most recently like the F1 stake car. Like I feel like we've had like Caesar's Palace be on
Oh
like
yeah.
a NASCAR like Caesar's. I'm sure that's probably already a thing. Like I feel like Indy 500. Come
Yeah.
on now, any what are there any casinos on NASCARs?
Ugh.
Let's see, casino.
Hard Rock. Hard Rock
See
Casino.
how could you do that? How could you do that? There's kids that watch the NASCAR race. How could you
Oh
do
yeah.
that?
I see your point now.
So I feel like that's like a gambling place sponsoring a company or like sponsoring something doesn't really feel like that is that bad if you really like look at the grand scheme of things. But that's way off topic. I feel like maybe I'm just rambling now. Maybe I'm getting old if I'm talking about that. I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
that's gotta
I
be like
still remember when I was like 13, I like coin flipped my way to from like $50 to like a knife, and then I coin flipped it like up to like it was like a lot of money. It was like 5 to 8 grand, and then I was like, dude, if I coin flip this one more time, I can buy the car I want to buy, and then I lost it all. But like, so And I was like
Dude,
13. And it was just Counter-Strike
I
skins.
feel like the biggest gambling loss I've had was probably like 3K, like when I'm like, yeah, like 13, 14, like,
Yeah,
dude,
you
oh,
just
this is crazy. You have no idea what you're doing. Like that, honestly, like that taught me like not to gamble. Like I'm
I
like, oh, this really
know.
sucks.
I
Like that
know.
really. Since then, I don't think I've done anything close to that. And that was all like, it's because the reason why you're still like investing is because you climbed it from like $1. Like you're just like, oh
Yes.
my god.
Yes.
So and when you do have big boy money and you have adult money, you're just like, I'm not gonna climb from $1. Oh, here, just take my $500. Oh, I lost. Well, this sucks.
Yeah.
So it's just on a bigger scale. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
when you're 13, you're really. I feel like that's low key a fun like game, and that's probably a bad thing to encourage. No, I'm not encouraging it, but like giving like $1 to like a 13-year-old and just having to see if he can climb it up. Like,
Go gamble, giving money to a kid so he goes gambles. So
there's
he
gotta be
goes
like a legal way to
gambles.
gamble. Like, it's like maybe it's like candy or something. Is that
Dude,
gambling? You're like, here, give him like one
Uh,
lollipop, and like he'll like climb up the lollipop to like 10,000 lollipops. That's rewarding.
I used to play
I guess that's
poker with like
gambling, right?
M&Ms and stuff
Dude,
at like campouts and stuff. That was
I
pretty
don't think I
fun.
ever really got into those things, but I could imagine like I think I would have had a good time like rolling dice as like a kid or something like that, playing something.
Yeah. My
I think
dad, yeah.
when did you learn or when did you see blackjack? I feel like when I like first learned it was like 20, like when I was like 18,
Really?
19.
I was
I feel
pretty
like I
young.
never knew poker. I still don't know poker, and I don't know like any of that
I have
shit.
like a deep memory of going to Golden Corral with like all my cousins, and we were playing blackjack for like the desserts or something like that.
How does that work?
I don't know, but I just remember being
It's a
taught.
buffet. It's a buffet. Yeah,
I know.
that's good gambling. That's good gambling.
Yeah, when you run out, you just well, yeah, you just go and get more. But it was literally like that. I just remember I was probably 12, if not younger, playing blackjack. So yeah, and they were all like that was back in my Mormon days, so it was a little.
Wow,
You're not supposed
they're
to gamble.
encouraging it, low key.
Yeah, Mormons love to gamble.
Shame on them.
They love to gamble. There's like in Salt Lake. This is super off topic, but you drive to Mesquite, and it's like 45-minute drive away from Utah. It's like right on the border. It's like the border sign, and then all the casinos. It's crazy. It's same in Dallas, like Oklahoma. Like
Yeah.
when I drove to Dallas, it was like gigantic freaking casinos, and I was like, "What the hell is going on? We're in the middle of nowhere." And then I hit Texas like 5 minutes after that. I was like, "Ah, I see, I
They
see."
got it out there.
But now Dallas has casinos. That's crazy.
Do they?
Yes, they allow them now, or they're being built. I think the law is about to be passed, and so they're all being built, or something like that, or it's about to go into effect. That's why you'll see, like, around the airport right now, there's a ton of gambling ads at, like, DFW.
Well, yeah, I've always noticed that. There's you can't gamble in Texas, but they'll tell you to go to Oklahoma.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
very common.
The Choctaw in, like,
Yep.
Oklahoma. I don't know if I
Yep.
butchered that pronunciation, but,
Yep. Choctaw.
yep. What a Mason. Hey, guys. Hey, guys. Look at this guy, dude. I'm not gonna derail
I'm
this.
dead.
Dude, Louis is wanting attention right now.
Yeah, what else is there? What else is there to talk about? If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. If you guys want to hop in the Discord, exclamation point Discord. If you're on, yeah, every social platform should link you to that. So join our Discord. Yeah, straight up.
Straight up, for real. Oh, I had exciting things to talk about in my work this week. Ooh, one of them is scheduling. Louis is going freaking berserk. One of them is scheduling our future content and kind of the ideas I have and looking at locations for where we're shooting. There's one location I want to say I want to shoot at really badly, but it's so scary area-wise. It's like
Is
it's
the one you sent me?
no. It's like this
Whatever.
old church, and I've emailed them and gotten a response back, and they're like not on anything at all, and it's like definitely like pretty much a condemned building, and like, but it would be so sick and to do it at, but I would be like, I'm scared to like go chill in a condemned building for like a few hours in like the worst part of Chicago ever. Like not the worst, not the worst part of Chicago, but not a great part, but not that bad, you know. Kind of like where we stayed at in our Airbnb,
I'd
you
be like
know.
iPhone announcement recording experience.
Bringing like $10,000 of equipment in there.
What are you to steal my Samsung? That would be a very gang of you.
This is better than the Talk to a podcast.
On
Is
God.
anywhere in Chicago a good place? Yes. Actually, I swear, people who have not been to Chicago think Chicago is really sketchy. But if you've ever been to Chicago, there's like one part of Chicago that's really, really bad, and everywhere else in Chicago is very nice. Like, swear on everything. You have like, it's surrounded by suburbs that are like super, super nice. And then the downtown of Chicago is one of the nicest downtowns. Like it is so safe downtown Chicago. Like it's
On the
crazy.
topic of finding places to shoot, I think we've talked this a while ago, and I think it's definitely far fetched because it is probably just a waste of money at like if you really look at it. But because there's definitely places you can do everything in the U.S. But on that note, I would love to consider, not for this one, but for future collections, like if we're doing a space theme, like go to space.
Yeah.
Like if we're doing like a like I don't know, a Russian theme pad, like go to Russia. Like something like yeah, you could
Yeah.
probably find Russia in the US.
Mm.
There's probably something. You could probably find something there. But I feel like yeah, that would be not only a great experience to be able to travel the world, but also like that's like I feel like that lines up like perfectly with like this is like really this is real. Like
Yeah.
we did this
Let's go
Russian
to
pad
fucking
because
space.
yeah, let's go to space. We did this space pad because we went to space and it inspired us and we took these aspects from it and like actually doing it like not in the sense that like we're just gonna take the 404 funds and travel and experience the world, but actually like setting like a homework as guide to it. Like,
Yeah.
okay, what do we learn from this? Like if we were going to space, what do we take from this and what can we take from it and put it in the pad? Like how can we
Yeah.
fit that into it? So I feel like that's a really cool way to show even a deeper sense of inspiration for everything because I feel like that also help us draft like real ideas like really 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 well
Yeah.
fit ideas.
I think
That's
our
kind of what we did for Legacy, but
the one after this is 100% going to be like that. Like
I do like the idea of the Chicago church. I feel like it lines up well. I haven't seen it, but
it's like
if it looks
gothic and yeah.
yeah, I think it could be sick, but
Yeah.
it's dangerous.
We'll see.
I'm scared.
I've like Google mapped it a little bit, so I think we'd be
Like
okay.
like
As
I'd
lo-
feel a lot more comfortable being in Lafayette or something like that. Give me in the cornfield. We need to make like a cornfield pad or something, bro.
We kind of
Give
are.
me in the fields.
We kind of are.
Dude, what if we did like a sick ass like farmer-esque pad? What if we take
Truck
inspiration
driver.
truck driving pads? Just trucks. That'd be sick. Then on 404's card, we have to buy each other trucks.
Yeah.
Like we just like burn the entire company down. Like
I need an
that's-
F-250 super wide.
It's the truck pad. It's our write off. We need these. It's like horse pad. Like dude.
We can just
What
do
else
we don't have to make a mouse pad in order to do that. You could just do that. You know that, right?
Yeah, but write off.
It would still be write off. You could write off work vehicles.
Shit. Well, fuck.
You know, we don't need to add the extra step, but fuck it. I mean, I guess
Hey, more inspiration.
we could definitely rent something like a big Mack truck. That'd be sick. What about a fire
I don't
truck
know.
pad?
What are some yeah, what are some crazy ideas?
Oh,
I feel like a winter themed pad would be sick.
yeah. I've always
Like
yeah.
something like some like I'm talking like Antarctica vibe. Like you're just like way up in the like mountainous like penguin-esque like a demon penguin or something like that. On the pad.
The recent Glassworks pad is kind of like that.
I think I saw what you're talking about. It
The
has like
bear?
a white bear or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. I hope that one sells well for them, because it's. Why am I so dark right now? But yeah, I think it's it's cool design. I hope that one goes well. But it's a little different from what they're selling, so I'm interested to see how it does. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm just not. I'm not a big fan of anime pads or like that vibe.
I don't think it's a diss. It's just it is the market, you know? The consumer drives demand in a pure capitalist society. So
I feel like it's the market, but I feel like that's like because no one's broken the market or like no one like they're just like
we're about to
little
break this shit open, boy.
little fishies like just like oh this works like I like the color red pad. Everyone likes red pad.
Yeah.
Like someone who's blue pad breaks it.
What about stoic Roman statues sliced in half with my stoic setup?
What about a pattern from a Roman vibe?
What about we walk around the Vatican and it inspires us for our Roman pattern pad? Ooh. That trip was so fun. We should have shared more on Twitter from that trip. I had all the footage of like just us walking around.
We still do. We still could.
Yeah.
I feel like we could make like a recap video. That could
Yeah.
be cool.
Oh, good idea.
Hey, on that note too,
Sugoi.
reusing footage. Since we discussed it here today, I think it's definitely good to talk about it. I think it would be a really cool way, or I think we should definitely think of the ways we could use our footage we gathered in the middle of the year
Yeah, I
for,
agree.
for that, and like
We already
how we could use that,
yeah.
and just in some way, like it could even be like, like the negative and the positive. Like this is like the I don't know, I guess like us doing bad and then us doing good, or like we were like we
Yeah.
could have done this, but we did this, and like it kind of just shows like that there was that like transition. I feel like that's more important to show than it is for us to talk about it here. Like it's important to put it on media, social media, and
Yeah, I agree.
let people see it, even if it's just for a quick moment.
Yeah.
It is to just talk about it here.
Yeah, I agree. I think showing the story of how we got here, our trials and tribulations, I think that's a really good idea. 100%.
Yep.
All right. I think that's
Cool.
our time.
Yeah.
I did outro
well-
last week, so it's your turn.
Hey, look, if you guys listen to this right now, !Discord in the chat, 414 Discord, join the Discord, get together, join the community. We do this every single week, either on Monday or Tuesday. Typically, our Mondays are packed, so sometimes we move it around.
Yeah.
Mondays, Tuesdays, but hey, we're here, we show up, we have conversation. We'd love to hear from you guys. And as always, feel free to ask your questions in the Discord or in the chat next time when we're live.
Yep.
And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.